हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम टू अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ वेल्थ टॉक्स विद यशवी। आज का एपिसोड बहुत ही स्पेशल होने वाला है क्योंकि हम बात करने वाले हैं एक ऐसे इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक के बारे में, दैट टू फ्रॉम अ एक्सपीरियंस्ड फंड मैनेजर्स पर्सपेक्टिव। इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में 5,000 से ज़्यादा कंपनीज लिस्टेड है, लेकिन पोर्टफोलियो में सिर्फ कुछ कंपनीज ही जगह बना पाती हैं। आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे क्या वो इम्पोर्टेंट रिजेक्शन क्राइटेरियाज हैं जो एक फंड मैनेजर्स एनालाइज करते हैं इन्वेस्टिंग करने से पहले, और भी क्या इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स हैं। सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं बल्कि एक डीप पोर्टफोलियो कंस्ट्रक्शन के बारे में डिस्कस होगा। सो प्लीज वेलकम मिस्टर भारत भूषण सर, पीएमएस फंड मैनेजर एट भारत भूषण इक्विटी ट्रेडर्स। हेलो सर, हाउ आर यू डूइंग?
Hi, thank you, Yashvi, for having me here.
थैंक यू सर। इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में 5,000 से ज्यादा कंपनीज लिस्टेड है, लेकिन एक स्ट्रॉन्ग पोर्टफोलियो में सिर्फ कुछ कंपनीज ही जगह बना पाती है। मैं आपसे सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस तो नहीं पूछूंगी बल्कि रिजेक्शन क्राइटेरिया जानना चाहती हूँ। कौन से ऐसे वो रेड फ्लैग्स हैं या फिल्टर्स हैं जो आप किसी कंपनी को तुरंत वॉच लिस्ट से बाहर कर देते हैं?
So I think that's a very nice question because everyone is so focused on the selection criteria and अब उसी की बात होती है, but I think you got the right thing कि rejection criteria क्या होता है, because that is how actually filtration takes place. We first look to reject because like you said there are more than 5,000 listed companies. So first is कि bringing that list down because you can't possibly analyze so many companies.
Right.
So मेरा personally the first thing which is the most important when I'm looking at a company is actually the promoters and their ethics and their integrity.
Okay.
So अगर वहाँ पे कोई भी doubt है, I think that becomes a non-negotiable. मतलब it's okay to also miss a few say multi-baggers, but if that is compromised, I think कहीं ना कहीं आप जाके जरूर धोखे खाएंगे. So that I think is one thing I look for. And it's not like you'll find data everywhere. It is just जहाँ पे आपको पता है history of wrongdoing है, या one thing you can always look at is related party transactions are always disclosed in your annual filings. So having related party transactions is not negative, but once you dive deeper and something seems fishy or not all right, then obviously one should investigate further. And so this is the most important. उसके बाद ऑब्वियसली एक सिंपल से फ्यू चेक्स हैं. अगेन एनुअल रिपोर्ट में यू विल हैव टू फाइंड दीज थिंग्स एंड काफी बार नोट्स टू अकाउंट्स में आपको बहुत चीजें मिलती हैं. सो वन थिंग दैट वी लुक एट इज ऑल्सो कैश फ्लो वर्सेज से योर रेवेन्यू. मतलब यू कैन पेग इट अगेंस्ट इवन प्रॉफिट, बट रेवेन्यू अगर आप देखें कि लेट्स से अ कंपनी हैज ग्रोन द रेवेन्यू वेरी क्विकली and by a huge percentage, but then when you go to the cash flow statement and see cash flow from operations, that has not grown. Means the sale could be artificial or it could be only credit driven, which is also risky because then you have to also see how good their collection is, how well do they manage their collection. So I think that is also a signal where some companies might be growing very fast and the market reacts very quickly to the results, but if कैश उस प्रपोर्शन में नहीं आ रहा जितने में हर साल आता है, बिकॉज उसमें बहुत वेरिएशन नहीं होता है, दैट्स इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ रेड फ्लैग. देन ऑब्वियसली एनी मेजर रिजेक्शंस, रेजिग्नेशन और exits from senior personnel, auditors, that has to be looked into. Debt heavy companies में, because a lot of businesses do need debt to grow, so debt is not negative. काफी लोग कहते हैं we only look at zero debt companies. I think ऐसा नहीं है. काफी growing companies need debt, but yes, interest coverage ratio I think अगर 3 times से आपका कम है, then that is a worrying thing, because then आप interest भी properly cover शायद ना कर पाए. So that is a very risky position to be in. Another thing is the asset liability mismatch. So जैसे हमने कुछ बड़ी NBFCs में देखा था कि शॉर्ट टर्म डेट थी एंड आगे उन्होंने लोन्स लॉन्ग टर्म दिए थे. सो उस मिसमैच के चक्कर में दे गॉट स्टक इन बिटवीन एंड दे कुड नॉट रेज फ्रेश फंड्स एंड दे हैड टू सॉर्ट ऑफ declare bankruptcy. So asset liability mismatch is another thing that you need to see, that how are they managing their debt in terms of the maturity as well. And एक जो बड़ा basic है is priced earning, but price earning relative to industry. Certain industries do have a higher PE opposed to the index. So I think you have to compare companies of similar size and in the same industry, and then see, what should be a fair PE and what it is trading at, and whether it is expensive or cheap. So, these are the few quick red flags that help you filter out most of the companies.
As you've told about that promoters thing, that promoter का भी देखना चाहिए कि इनको भी एक rejection criteria में रखा जाता है. So what if you can explain in little deep what is that? How do you decide that the promoter is doing good or is just giving false statements by just analyzing those targets or anything else?
Okay, I don't want to take names, but जैसे sometimes also कि if repeatedly similar allegations are coming on the promoter for wrongdoing from multiple areas, because a lot of times allegations are also false. So one has to wait for whether or not it is true or not, how does the legal system see it. But yeah, if it is happening repeatedly, or some people are associated with the company earlier which had was involved in some wrongdoing, and same people also move on to new companies. So not just promoters, actually even senior personnel, I meant people who are running the company. So those people, obviously then you have to obviously everyone deserves a second chance, but you have to be careful, because उसमें अगर वापस there are signals, then you have to be all the more careful that something could be off.
आपके अकॉर्डिंग एक फंड मैनेजर और एक रिटेल इन्वेस्टर के थिंकिंग प्रोसेस में सबसे बड़ा डिफरेंस क्या होता है जब वो कोई स्टॉक को इवैल्यूएट करते हैं?
I think the basic difference is कि a lot of retail investors are in it to get rich quickly. Yeah. So they are looking for a share which will double in a month or move very quickly. Another thing is, I've seen people also like very cheap shares. There is a thinking that सस्ता शेयर है तो एक तो ज्यादा आप शेयर खरीद पाते हो and वो ज्यादा जल्दी बढ़ता है. So this is also a misconception. So it is a lot of times driven by lack of logic. So I think the सबसे बड़ा difference रहता है approach में ही. So अगर एक retail investor है, काफी बार उनका decision उस basis पे है कि वो already कोई stock track कर रहे हैं, या से उनके पास 1 लाख रुपए हैं, उनको लमसम लगाने हैं. तो थिंकिंग वहां से चालू होती है कि अब इसको 1 लाख को कैसे लगाना है, किस शेयर या कितने 1-2 शेयर में लगाना है, एंड जो जल्दी बढ़े. फंड मैनेजर लुक्स एट द पोर्टफोलियो लेवल. सो उनका फोकस ज्यादा रहता है कि हाउ वी स्प्रेड दीज फंड्स ओवर द शेयर्स दैट यू होल्ड, की एलोकेशन ठीक रहे इंडस्ट्री वाइज, सीइंग द मार्केट कंडीशंस, किस सेक्टर में ओवरवेट जाना है, विद इन द सेक्टर कौन सा. सो आई थिंक अप्रोच में काफी फर्क रहता है. प्लस वही है, फंड मैनेजर आई वुड अज्यूम मोर पेशेंट. दे आर लुकिंग फॉर मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी, जहाँ पे उनकी थोड़ी बेटर हो इन स्टॉक्स. या सम पीपल ऑल्सो प्ले मोमेंटम, बट फिर वो मोमेंटम के हिसाब से खेलते हैं. सो वो स्ट्रैटेजी आपकी कुछ भी हो सकती है, बट you do it, I think, with a little more research, and also resources में भी फर्क रहता है. It's not a retail investor can't have access to all the research that a PMS fund manager would have. So I think वहाँ पे, but approach wise, I think this is the difference. It's just the level of patience and the ability to look holistically at a portfolio level instead of just focusing on.
So as a fund manager, आपकी investing journey में सबसे बड़ी गलती क्या थी, और उस गलती ने आपको कोई एक ऐसा important lesson सिखाया जो retail investor follow करके उसको improve कर पाए?
So एक गलती जो मेरे से जल्दी हो गई थी before I started managing funds was that मेरे को लॉस बुक करना बहुत खराब लगता था. तो वो काफी कॉमन मिस्टेक है, बट द आइडिया वाज कि कोई भी शेयर अगर आपका नेगेटिव में है, इवन दो यू नो कि अच्छा इट्स टाइम टू मे बी सेल द शेयर, इसमें कुछ हो नहीं रहा है एंड आगे भी थिंग्स आर नॉट लुकिंग ग्रेट, यू यूज्ड टू वेट कि अच्छा मेरी कॉस्ट के ऊपर आ जाए मैं तब बेचूंगा, या प्रॉफिट में आ जाए. तो उस चक्कर में आप कई साल शेयर्स को रख लेते थे. आई थिंक दैट इज अ मिस्टेक दैट आई यूज्ड टू डू, and it's, I think, very common, not just retail. I think I have seen enough experienced investors also making the same mistake. So that is one. सेकंड एक जो मेरे साथ गलती आफ्टर आई स्टार्टेड मैनेजिंग फंड्स हुई एंड आई हैव रियलाइज्ड एंड नाउ आई एम वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट इट, इस काफी बार हम लोग रिसर्च करते हैं एंड वी गो वेरी डीप इनटू अंडरस्टैंडिंग द इंडस्ट्री, इनटू अंडरस्टैंडिंग द कंपनी. So I realized कि I used to sometimes get emotionally attached to the company I have researched. तो क्या आप इतना उसके बारे में पढ़ते हो, so you know obviously you come across good things also, you come across bad things also. So if आपको कंपनी आपने खरीदी है, so in your head you overstate the good things and you justify the bad things. And जबकि आपको dispassionate होना चाहिए towards the shares you own. They are businesses you've invested in. So you should look at it from that sense. You should not get married to your shares. So but ये एक गलती थी which I did, and I think इसमें learning यही है कि आप quarter on quarter या annually भी अगर आप देख रहे हैं, see the results, see how companies are growing, and then take your decision. So that will help you stay informed as well, because yes, there are businesses that do exceedingly well for decades, but you still have to at least keep yourself updated as to what they're doing.
किसी भी इन्वेस्टमेंट में आप सबसे बड़ा रिस्क क्या देखते हैं और उस रिस्क को आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करते हैं? आपका फ्रेमवर्क क्या होता है?
तो सबसे बड़ा रिस्क, लाइक आई सेड, मेरे लिए तो एथिकल इश्यूज ही हैं, एंड इसके अलग अलग सिग्नल्स आपको मिलते हैं, एंड द ओनली वे टू आइडेंटिफाई इट इज टू स्पीक विद एज मेनी पीपल एज पॉसिबल. सो हम लोग काफी बार कोई भी प्रोडक्ट यूज कर रहे हैं, we can obviously speak to customers. We can also become customers ourselves and go through the journey. So that is number one. Second is you can try and speak to the distributors. आप अगर कोई रिटेल आउटलेट से कुछ ले रहे हैं, जैसे आपने अगर कोई FMCG कंपनी है, आपने किराने की दुकान से उनका सामान लिया, आप पूछ सकते हैं कि इनके क्या टर्म्स होते हैं, हाउ क्विकली डू दे आस्क फॉर पेमेंट, सप्लाई कैसा आता है, डू दे फोर्स यू टू बाय प्रोडक्ट्स. बेसिक कॉन्वर्सेशंस आप लोगों से करेंगे तो आपको बहुत चीज़ों का आइडिया लग जाता है कि व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन. सिमिलरली, इफ बाय चांस यू हैपन टू कम अक्रॉस पीपल हु आर सप्लायर्स टू दीज कंपनीज, हु आर वेंडर्स फॉर दीज कंपनीज, सो उनकी पेमेंट टर्म्स क्या हैं, पेमेंट्स टाइमली हो रही हैं कि नहीं, कमिटमेंट्स मीट होती हैं कि नहीं. Anybody, if you can find any ex-employee that you can speak with or a current employee you can speak with. So the only way to check it beyond the annual statements is to speak with as many stakeholders as possible to get an insight as to how things function in the company, and whether everything is being done in a proper manner or not. So that is a check that is done, and हर company में आप नहीं कर पाते हैं. It's in a lot of B2B businesses you don't find people because आपकी interaction नहीं होती, but in a lot of D2C businesses or B2C businesses, you do get access to at least the distributors and customers, and you can also experience it yourself as a customer to get more insight.
So अक्सर ऐसा कहा जाता है कि बुल मार्केट में तो हर कोई जीनियस होता है, लेकिन असली टेस्ट करेक्शन के वक्त पता चलता है, क्योंकि हर कोई बुल मार्केट में चाहे कुछ भी इन्वेस्ट करे प्लस प्रॉफिट में ही आ जाता है और वो ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हो जाते हैं. सो करेंट मार्केट सिनेरियो को देखते हुए रिटेल इन्वेस्टर को कौन सी ऐसी प्रैक्टिकल स्ट्रैटेजी है जो अडॉप्ट करनी चाहिए, और कौन से ऐसे कॉमन बिहेवियरल मिस्टेक्स हैं जो आप बार बार देखते हैं अपने क्लाइंट्स के साथ?
सो आई थिंक इट इज ऑल्सो, अभी मार्केट हैज बीन क्वाइट ब्रूटल in the sense that काफी बार आपका quick fall आता है and it recovers. That is not as bad as a sustained volatile market where you are going up and down so much. I have not seen such volatility earlier. Swings इससे बड़े देखे हैं, one time, two time swings, but on a daily basis, for so much movement to come in and so much uncertainty to be there geopolitically, I think it's new for everybody. And यही actually सच्चाई है कि the past will not really repeat itself and new challenges will be thrown to you, which is why all of us are students. But एक difference I think वही है कि people want to get rich quick. They want to find the next big stock, and in this market it is virtually impossible because there are so many factors outside your control, and so इसमें one should stick to your thesis, I think, and if your thesis is correct, you're confident, have patience and have conviction that okay, I bought this company for XYZ reasons. No matter what global announcements are coming in, does that change why I have bought this company. If it does not change, then just stay put. Because अगर outside noise से short term में things are happening differently, that doesn't mean your decision is incorrect. So I think it's more of a behavioral battle in this market than a fundamental battle. मतलब आप अच्छे सब analysis करके भी आप गलत जा सकते हैं. So you should have, I think, a little more faith in yourself and your process, and I think that is going to be the game changer. Because when things get all right, obviously जो positive reasons की वजह से आपने कोई share खरीदा है, वो the market will also recognize it and pretty earlier. Swings इससे बड़े देखे हैं, 1 time, 2 time swings, but on a daily basis, for so much movement to come in and so much uncertainty to be there geopolitically, I think it's new for everybody. And यही actually सच्चाई है कि the past will not really repeat itself and new challenges will be thrown to you, which is why all of us are students. But एक difference I think वही है कि people want to get rich quick. They want to find the next big stock, and in this market it is virtually impossible because there are so many factors outside your control, and so इसमें one should stick to your thesis, I think, and if your thesis is correct, you're confident, have patience and have conviction that okay, I bought this company for XYZ reasons. No matter what global announcements are coming in, does that change why I have bought this company? If it does not change, then just stay put. Because अगर outside noise से short term में things are happening differently, that doesn't mean your decision is incorrect. So I think it's more of a behavioral battle in this market than a fundamental battle. मतलब आप अच्छे सब analysis करके भी आप गलत जा सकते हैं. So you should have, I think, a little more faith in yourself and your process, and I think that is going to be the game changer. Because when things get all right, obviously जो positive reasons की वजह से आपने कोई share खरीदा है, वो the market will also recognize it and reward you accordingly.
So let us consider that someone is having a lump sum to invest. तो वो क्या पहली चीज होगी जो आप चेक करेंगे इन्वेस्ट कर?
So first is obviously I will also see how much time I have that money for. If that money is available to me for a very short time and I know I need it for some other purpose, then altogether आप equity avoid ही आपको करनी चाहिए. Now let us assume that वो 10 lakhs is savings which can be invested for long term. Then I think the first thing you should do is also look at your existing portfolio. So asset allocation becomes very important at an individual level. So आप अपने current portfolio को जरूर देखें जब भी आप fresh allocations कर रहे हैं, and see where you need to invest further. So because कहना आसान है asset allocation. I think once you sit down, you make your asset allocation. It is not always very easy to change things very quickly. अगर आज मेरा 10 लाख का portfolio है and I have no investment in gold, but in this market my shares could be beaten down. So it doesn't make sense for me to quickly sell say 10% of my equity and convert it to gold. I might wait a little bit for markets to improve and then slowly do it. Now in the same situation, I've had 10 lakhs more. I know, okay, 2 lakhs let me put into gold, and मेरा 10% मैंने allocation जो सोचा था अपना कि overall मेरा gold में investment होना चाहिए, वो 20 lakhs का मेरा 2 lakhs gold का हो जाएगा. So I think existing portfolio को भी study करना on an allocation level while deploying fresh funds is the first thing I would do.
Current market volatility में एक fund manager, as a fund manager आप किस तरह अपने clients के portfolio को hedge करते हैं या handle करते हैं? क्या आप commodity की तरफ shift हो जाते हैं या liquid funds में allocation को shift करते हैं?
हाँ, so actually hedging हम लोग PMS में जब करते हैं तो it's not fully allowed because leverage allowed नहीं है. तो अगर हम कोई भी derivative position ले to hedge, that will make the portfolio very inefficient. So we don't really hedge portfolios in a PMS, but yes, हम लोग जैसे if we feel the markets are not doing well या अभी और भी market गिर रहा है, so हम लोग equity से exit करके, like you said, we do buy liquid funds, and slowly as our target prices hit for the certain shares we want to buy, we keep investing. We also do take calls on commodity, but again, only ETFs and precious metals. So we are not taking any derivative calls. But suppose we say, okay, silver is in momentum, so let us take a 5% exposure to silver. But then we are treating those precious metals like shares. So in the sense that we've entered with a certain thesis and a certain target and a certain stop loss. It is different from asset allocation, where we say, okay, precious metals have to be a fixed percentage of your portfolio, say a 10 to 15% of the portfolio. वो नहीं है. It is more like, okay, this is making sense right now. It is, this should do well for XYZ reasons. So let us enter, and we'll also exit at once we achieve our target. So that, yes, we do that. But I think ETF market in India is really growing, but it has a long way to go. So your options become limited. Like for example, we wanted to enter copper, say 1 year back. Real option that you have to do that, apart from just buying a company which deals in copper and has a very high correlation, but it's an equity. You are wanting to take a commodity position, which you can't do without derivatives. So I think market is going to keep improving and give you more products and options. But abhi you have to do with the options you have.
एज यू टोल्ड कि कॉपर में अगर किसी को इन्वेस्ट करना है, क्योंकि ये सेमीकंडक्टर्स और इस सेक्टर में काफ़ी पोटेंशियल दिख रहा है, उसके लिए सिर्फ इक्विटीज़ ही है, क्योंकि ईटीएफ्स तो अभी अवेलेबल नहीं है. सो इक्विटी के अलावा भी कुछ और इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जहाँ पर इन्वेस्टिंग कर सकते हैं, या कोई और प्रेशियस मेटल है वेयर डू यू थिंक कि आने वाले कुछ सालों में पोटेंशियल है? क्योंकि हमने देखा काफ़ी सारे ऐसे ग्रोइंग सेक्टर्स बताए जा रहे हैं, जैसे वाटर रिसाइकलिंग, ईवी एंड मेनी मोर.
द केस ऑफ कॉपर एक्चुअली ऑप्शन नहीं है. There are some international ETFs, but again they become ETFs of not copper, but companies trading in copper or dealing in copper. So that is a very indirect way of getting exposure to copper. अब उसमें the risk sometimes that happens, and which we saw last year in Indian equities, was, say copper moved 20%. The company dealing in copper, that share moved 50% in the same period. So, people are also very quick to jump onto it. So, I think as a retail investor, and even sometimes as a fund manager, you miss out that quick reaction. So, then at 50% increase versus a 20% decrease, does it make sense to enter? Will it stay at 50% as actual copper prices catch up, or will it also further increase in that ratio to copper increase? That is unknown, and that is the risk. So, I would recommend people to actually not indulge in this. That is what we say. If this becomes very risky, and so stick to things that you have availability, where you have liquidity, and where you are more certain, of the downside. We should know what are our risks.
And my final question to you is, क्या फंड मैनेजर्स भी मल्टी बैगर अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए रिसर्च करते हैं?
So every share we buy is with the hope that it will turn into a multi-bagger. But reality यही है कि multi-bagger बनने के लिए उसको आपको hold भी करना पड़ेगा for many years. And the one sad reality that I will share as a fund manager is that your performance is reviewed every year. That's the bare minimum. Some people will review it weekly also, some will review it monthly, some will review it quarterly, but annually most people, 99% people, will review your performance annually. So in that period, it is not necessary that the share will become a multi-bagger. It might shares become multi-baggers over 5 years, 10 years, and it is also possible that they do a bulk of that movement within 1 year. That it is consolidating at a price and then moves up fast. But when we identify shares, we don't know where in that cycle the share is. We can think of the potential,
right?
But वो graph ऐसे जाएगा या वो ऐसे जाएगा, that is not known. So as fund managers, you have a fiduciary responsibility. So you are actually even more careful with managing money for other people than you would be for even yourself. So in that case, sometimes you also have targets where you book profits, so that you get that return home, because realized gain is what comes home. Unrealized gains and losses are not yours till the time you book it. So multi-baggers की कोशिश जरूर रहती है, but yeah, you have to see it year on year. It's rare to have a multi-bagger every year.
So next 1 year में आप कितना अपने clients के लिए expect कर रहे हैं returns को?
This is a question that I also get asked from all the clients, and honestly, there is no answer to this. We always try to beat our benchmark, and we try to rise a little more than the benchmark and fall a little less than the benchmark. But it's hard to be very different from the benchmark. And that is all we can say, that is, and that also we are trying. We can't promise. Actually, jo market mein ho is not in your hands. So I know this is the question that gets asked the most.
Thank you so much for giving your valuable time. It was a very insightful session. Thank you so much, sir.
No, thank you so much for having me.